Good evening
So
to
it's all
all.
on you.
All right. Good evening to all. My name is Venita Chuloyanis, and I am one of your many hosts today. Before we get started, peace and blessings to everybody. I hope you guys had a good holiday. Um, Let me introduce my panel here. Chester.
What's the deal?
Hey, hey. Jay Ferg. Cheryl, the lovely
Hey,
Cheryl,
hey.
and Dr. Sayso.
What's happening?
Say so, say so. Who
Dr.
Hey,
say
Chester,
so?
hey.
Who say so?
what's going on with you?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I'm in the garage. I'm freezing.
Oh my goodness.
Wait till I get down to Tampa. That's what
It's a little bit
Oh, wait a
cold.
minute, Chester. You going? Wait a minute. Hold on. You going to Chester? You going to Tampa, Chester? Oh,
I
Oh,
dude.
Heritage Festival at all.
Boy, you be getting it.
Yes, sir. Be down there nice and early.
Ooh.
And that just got off from the palace. Want to burn one with y'all and
That's
talk to
good.
the man with his new commercial.
All right. Jay Ferg, what you smoking on? What's going on with you, Jay?
I'm good. I'm smoking on a. I don't even know what the hell I'm smoking. To be honest, I think it's a
Mm.
Hiram and Solomon. Hiram and Solomon I'm smoking tonight.
Oh man, nice stick.
Okay.
Oh, Miss
I was gonna,
Jennifer.
I was gonna break up my last what do you call it? Amazon basin, but I'm like, nah, I'm gonna save that for when I can really just chill and sit back and enjoy that. I got one left.
He, he,
Ooh.
All
he
that's
say
right.
this.
good because I have two
Now let me
left.
ask you a question. Is it the original Amazon basin
The
or is it
original.
the
Woo.
Añejo?
No, original, straight from. I
Yeah.
got you sent to
Way
me from Rick Rodriguez. Sent me those.
Man, you
way
gotta see.
better than way better than the Añejo.
Yeah.
How
Way
do
better.
And
I?
Cheryl, how are you this evening?
I am great. I am great. I am great.
Good, good. Dr. Say so, Mr. Chris Wright.
Oh, everything is good. Everything is good. Let me just greet everybody and looking forward to a great show. Got a couple quick announcements before I turn it back over to you, Venita,
Okay.
who is our host today. But just wanted to give a shout out to Cigar Palace for their My Father's event coming up on this Saturday at December 9th from 5 to 9 p.m. That's a 5 to 9 right there. And they got special giveaways, some raffles, some food. They got drinks. And they're looking forward to seeing everybody that can make it over to Cigar Palace and support that event there. I believe it's a GTG supported event as well. So make your way over there. My man Chester, I don't know. Well, he can't be working on Saturday, so he must be right. He must be out. All right. And then the next thing, just to let y'all know, we got the first ever brother of the leaf and sister of the leaf getting together for a worship experience. My band, Blessed Connection Band, will be headlining playing. And we're doing this from 7 to 8 p.m. with the recent deaths that we had in the DMV area. And, you don't know whether people got their soul right, and we need to make sure that, we can give people an opportunity to do that. So we're gonna be in there from 7 to 8 p.m. and then following immediately, like after, we'll be going over to uh, continue the fellowship over at Veterans Cigar Palace, which this is hosted by Boss Man and Brother David Williams from David Williams Bourbon Selections and Bourbon Cast. So that's it on my end. Other than that, been chilling, waiting for this day, waiting to be in the presence of each and every one of y'all. And as you get ready to introduce the man of the hour, so
Okay. And
Steve
back to
without
Jackson.
you.
further ado, I would like to introduce the man of the hour, our seasoned brother of the leaf, Mike Bennett, aka Cigar Mike. Welcome, Mike. Thank you for joining us at the Smoking Jacket broadcast.
Mike Incognito back there. Let me get Mike up to the forefront here.
Negro.
No, yeah, thank you for the invitation. I appreciate that. Uh, my first time on here, with this illustrious crew. So,
Tell us what you're smoking on, Mike, this evening.
Robert Caldwell, the girl, the gold, and the guns. Dan
Mm.
Sarah.
Nice.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty
Oh, yeah,
cool.
lovely.
Okay. Mike, tell us a bit about Mike and your journey in the cigar culture or the cigar industry. Where'd you start?
I started in the bathroom. Yeah,
Is there?
I did. No, I was actually I was a restroom attendant. You know, when you go in the restroom, I got the cologne and the mints and all that stuff.
Hmm.
That was me. And the guy who got
Hmm.
me into that, it was a hustle. I was like, okay, I make a couple dollars. And the guy who got me into it was like, yo, if you sell cigars, you buy them for this price. And at that time, we're talking about 26 years ago, Macanudos, Partagas, they was $5 or $6. I was selling for $25, $20. I was like, oh, yeah, that's all the math I need. So I
Hmm.
was, I wasn't even smoking them at the time, and then shortly after that, just,
It was
exposure
your,
to them,
it was your
I just
hustle.
started smoking. So, so that's
Okay.
that's how I got started.
That's how you get
Hustle.
started. And for the sake of wording, cigar culture and cigar industry. And Chester, I want you to chime in on this. What's the difference? What would you believe that the difference, the culture, the industry? And I'm sure, Mike, you've been in this game for a long time. Chester, what's the difference?
I think I think the industry is the business side. The culture are the,
Hmm.
and they're definitely different, but they have to connect. The industry has to be in line with the culture, and the
Hmm.
culture is going to feed the industry. That's just my opinion. I think without the culture, that industry it lives or it dies. And I think
Right,
we bring a lot of culture, especially our people. We bring a lot of culture to
right, right.
different to the cigar industry.
Has much changed, Mike, in the cigar industry over the years that you've seen, the 26, 27 years you've been in it?
Oh, it's changed by leaps and bounds.
Hmm.
It's changed by leaps and bounds. I've probably been through uh, three, maybe four waves of cigar smokers, from the just give me your biggest cigar or your most expensive cigar to, you know, now having a more educated smoker where people are wanting to know actually what they're putting into their body. Is it
Hmm.
Nicaraguan? Is it Dominican? Is it Honduran? Is it Panamanian?
Hmm.
So a lot has changed from the consumer standpoint, from the cigar business side. My first trade show in 2009 back in New Orleans, there was probably a few more than the amount of black people on this podcast that were in that room that
Right.
owned the cigar line.
Hmm.
Which goes back to, let's say, Sean Williams, when he had his brand, uh, Don Juan Gross with Dignity Cigars out of LA. Scott Chester was around back then with Acid, but that was it. It wasn't there weren't black reps, there weren't female reps, and
Hmm.
you know, for the people who are able to witness what it looks like now is completely different. You have some of all ethnicities owning cigar stores, owning cigar brands, representing cigars. Uh, be it from an industry standpoint or from a side of the culture. So yeah,
Hmm.
it's a real big difference.
Of course it is. Of course it is. Um, let's talk about women in the cigar industry as well. You say there wasn't a lot of women. I've been smoking for like 27 years. And in Greece, we were a secret society where we weren't able to smoke in public. In what direction do you believe the feminine influence has impacted the cigar culture?
Well, there's a definite and definitive amount of growth that is attributed to female smoking.
Yeah.
If you look at it by and large, throughout the world, smoking is pretty much a rich man's game, with the exception of here, because we have what most other countries don't have, which is a middle class.
Mhm.
Now, if you look at college graduation rates, the women have the highest college graduation rate.
Yes.
If you take a statistic that or a mantra that masters is the new bachelors, so if you're going to go straight through, spend another 3 years, you're looking at those trappings. You're looking at coming out to a 6-figure salary. So the same way you have more women smoking cigars, you have more women who own boats. You have more women who own multiple homes. You have more women who own just high-end watches, be it Panerais or Hublots or APs, things like that. So it's just what trappings are you looking for? What surroundings? More women drinking whiskey, scotches, bourbons.
That's true.
High-end. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Chester, you want to chime in on that? Where do you think we go in the industry? Where do you think we take? Oh, we're definitely an asset. Wouldn't you believe that?
You're on mute, bro.
Yes, sir.
Take yourself off mute, man.
Chester.
Take yourself off mute, Chester.
Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. I forgot.
Gone for it too.
I know I was in it too. No,
He was gone for it.
women definitely bring a lot to the industry. But you know, wherever women are, men going to follow.
True that. True
So,
that.
I think it's just a great way for us as adults to connect, under cigars. So just like with this panel, a lot of times people say, "Oh man, you all don't talk about cigars enough." But in the lounge, you're not really talking about cigars. You're talking about everything else. You're talking about life. You're talking about experiences, and you're going to put some cigars in there. But it's a great way for us all to stay connected as adults and network.
True that. True that.
Women are definitely making an impact, especially in this area.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mike, what goes into the preparation for a Cigar Mike event from start to finish? And Jay, you can chime in on this too, because you're seasoned in this event planning as well. What goes into this?
For me, if I have to look at it if I had to look at it in terms of billable hours, probably just the construct of, let's say, the Atlanta Cigar Experience is about 10 to 15 hours per event. That's like hard into, this is what I want to do. These are the things that I want. And then there's the logistics behind it, talking to the venues, talking to the cigar companies, the liquor companies, getting out information, that stuff. So
how far out do you have to go in this planning? This is a 6-month planning? It's 9 months planning?
No, I start planning. So the Monday of the Atlanta Cigar Experience, at the completion of that event, I'm planning the Monday for the next year. I'm looking at what I did right, what I did wrong, what changes I want to make, if I want to make it bigger or better, if I want to make it smaller, more intimate. I'm looking at all that stuff at that time.
So what makes it successful for you? The experience of the cigar smoker when you say the Atlanta experience?
Well, I mean, I think there are varying degrees of success. For me, success is people having a good time. I don't charge for a lot of my events. I don't have a lot of vendor fees or stuff like that. I pretty much let the events just kind of do what they do. I make my little money on the back end, but I'm more interested in that the individual have a good time. Did the vendor make some money? Did the venue make some money? If everybody made money, then everybody will come back, which means I get to keep eating. So for me, I think the primary difference for me is I do this every single day of my life. So I don't concentrate on making a whole lot of money in this 7-day period. I mean, I have events right before that. I have events right after that. So I don't have to say, oh, I got to make this amount of money or something's going to get cut off,
Right. Jay, you want to chime in? What's your experience with event planning, since you're seasoned as well in this industry?
Well, I think for me it's a little different approach, because I come from a different background of events. I come from doing large scale festivals and stuff of that nature. So I think for me, what I do a little different is I don't necessarily focus on, for lack of a party. I feel like partying is cool, but to call something a cigar event, I think the focus should be the cigar. That's just my personal opinion. And
Okay.
that's for me, it's always been, when I just started doing cigar events, but I've been doing events on a major festival level since 1997. You know what I'm saying? So like I produced concerts for, from Jimmy Buffett to Lenny Kravitz to, Kevin Hart and Chris Rock before they were not Chris Rock, Cat Williams before they was who they were. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I've been in this game since '97. So I've seen it on a major level. So for me, it's like I can't like for me to do, and I've done parties. I've done when South Beach was South Beach. I've done the South Beach parties, All Star weekends and Memorial Day weekends. I've done all of that. At 2 years old, and at where I'm at in my life, in my career, it's like I looked at when I was doing Black Smoke. That's when I started doing cigar events. That was my first cigar event, and when we came up with that concept, um, I went into that with more of a approach of, okay, I wasn't sure how to do it because I had never done a cigar focused event. I was only used to doing like, major festivals and stuff. So I had never ventured down that path of doing a cigar. So I was kind of like figuring it out as I go along. And it was cool. It did what it did. But when I started doing Destination Herf, I looked at the landscape of the cigar events that were going on. And I said, well, it doesn't make sense for me to do what Mike is doing. It doesn't make sense for me to do what Houston's doing. That's already being done.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like it doesn't make sense to do a whole nother event that's pretty much the same thing as what everybody else is doing. That's just never been my MO. So I took a different approach with Destination Herf in the sense that it is cigar, it is truly cigar driven. You know what I'm saying? So like we don't do any, we did two events at an actual cigar lounge. You know what I'm saying? And which is the meet and greet and the brunch. So other
Okay.
than that, I go out and I find venues that I could kind of control the venue. I do the open bar. I feed you. We give you, crazy swag, shit ton of cigars, and I want you to interact with the cigar. Like for me, it's like I don't want to have 30 million vendors at an event. I don't want that. That's already being done. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like, okay, meet and greet. This is a cigar brand. Focus on this cigar brand. Focus on this, and that's it. So again, like I said, everybody has their own sauce that works.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I just kind of figured out what my lane was, and I just for number one, I just didn't want to do what everybody else was already doing. You know what I'm saying? So
So
I had to figure out my lane and focus on that. You know what I'm saying? So
Mike.
if I may, I think also what Jay brought to the table was he had immediate scalability from his background. So him coming into cigar events, he's looking at it like, okay, y'all are doing this, but it could look like this.
Right.
This is how it can, from an operational standpoint,
Right.
with that background, it makes it an amazing dynamic because again, it's not the same. Just if somebody that's outside barbecuing or cooking fish or something like that, which and I'm not knocking that. I've had a couple of fish fries myself, but I think that the scalability that Jay and his background and experience brings to an event, you know, does something great, and also bring in a sense of where you are. When I go to Houston, I want to feel like I'm in Houston. I don't want to do Atlanta stuff. When I'm in
Right.
Miami, I'm at Miami event. I want to feel like I'm in Miami and do Miami stuff. So I'm not, you know what I'm saying. So all those things are things that both myself, Jay, and I have to factor into what we're doing. Does it feel like where you are? I don't want you to feel like you're in any place else other than Atlanta when you're here. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
and it's funny, not to cut you off, Mike, but it's funny because at PCA, I approach Mike and I say, yo, Mike, hey, I would love to help you, any way I can. And, how can we elevate the Cigar Mike experience to a whole other level? And with all due respect, he explained to me his point of view, his plan, his system, how it works. And I had to respect that. And I'm like, you know what? I'm good with that. You know what I'm saying? But that's just how I am as a person. You know, I'm always analyzing stuff, and I'm always looking at, how do we take it to the next level? You know what I'm saying? And he explained to me what his method was to his madness as to why the Cigar Mike experience is what it is. And up until that point, we had never had that conversation, right? But as a brother, I'm like, yo, bro, if you need help with anything, let me know. I got you. You know what I'm saying? He's like, nah, this is how I do it. This is what I'm looking to do. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. I don't know what your source is. You know what your secret source is. So, I didn't want to come off like I was being disrespectful, but as a brother, I felt like, yo, if I got some resources that can benefit you, I'm here to help you. You know what I'm saying? So I think like that was kind of cool that he didn't get offended by me saying that, but the fact that, I was able to come to him and be like, yo, hey, bro, I see what you're doing, but I want to add some sauce to yours. He's like, no. My kitchen is good. We cooking good over here. You know what I'm saying? So, and that was kind of cool that, because some people take that kind of the wrong way and be like, you know what I mean? Like, who are you to tell me what I'm doing or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But we had a good dialogue, and I kind of had a better understanding of what his kitchen looked like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, cool. And we kept it pushing, you know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like one of the things, like, I feel like in this game, like, if we have more understanding, you know what I'm saying, rather than like assuming and like, because I'm the type of person, like, if I got a problem, issue, or concern, or whatever the case may be, I'm coming to the source. I'm not gonna go behind Cigar Mike's back and be like, yo, I heard Cigar Mike shit is this, boom, 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 boom. I want to know from him, yo, what it is, you know what I mean? And he explained it to me, and we good with that, you know what I'm saying? So I think like that's one of the things that I really appreciated. And then we had some other dialogue throughout that weekend at PCA, and it was kind of dope, man. But I appreciate what you do. You know what I'm saying? You're definitely a legend in this game, and a lot of people respect you for what you do. And I just keep doing your thing, bro. But if you need, I'm here.
Yeah, I appreciate you. And there was, and I mean, and I get what Jay's saying, but there was absolutely no reason for me to feel any way about it. I mean, because this brother's doing his thing on this level. He's doing things that are above what I'm doing. And he said, yo, if you need something, I can help you if you want. So there's absolutely no way for me to take offense to that at all. I appreciated the conversation. I'm a little slower, a little more methodical. Like I mix a lot of the cigar brands into my event, and I force doing stuff at cigar venues because I know the feel. Some people do stuff in the club, and they, the waitress is like, oh, this cigar smoke, and people are complaining. I don't want any of that. I want people who are used to the clientele that I'm gonna bring. I know I'm gonna have 250, 300 people on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I know the places we can go. Now, I could grow out of that, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. But for right now, I haven't heard people say bad things about the Cigar Mike experience. And I'm kind of cool in that little, I'm on the river right now, cool. And if a big wave comes up, I'm ready for it. But right now, things are,
So to Mike and Jay, I have a question on this vein. Where do you see Mike, you mentioned you've seen like of the fourth or almost the fifth iteration of how the culture has evolved. So from our cultural perspective, where do you see this going as the landscape is right now? And what are your thoughts about what the landscape is right now?
Good question, Sharon.
Jay,
Well, for me, I'm gonna be very transparent right now. For me personally, I don't know how long I'm gonna be in the cigar game. I'll be very transparent. You know what I'm saying? And that's from sometimes honestly, I just want to go back to being that guy that smokes cigars in the club, in the lounge, or my laptop. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
I'm a type of person where it's like, I like to see progress and not regress. And I feel like sometimes I feel like we're regressing I feel like the culture is regressing sometimes. Um, as I speak with different people in the industry in terms of the cigar events and some of the feedback I get from some of the brands or whatever, and I got one. I'm not going to say the name, but I got an email from a cigar manufacturer regarding sponsoring our events, right? And it was a very negative email, but it wasn't. I understood where he was coming from, what
Hmm.
I'm saying? And it was kind of like, it was kind of disheartening because it's like he wasn't wrong for what he was saying, but it was just to actually hear somebody say it, and that's why I kind of like, I feel like, you know, cool. Everybody can have, you can do whatever you want to do. You want to do a cigar event in your city, do that. All I'm saying is do the shit right. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Whatever you say you're gonna do, if you have a sponsor that comes on board, gives you money, product, or whatever, represent their brand properly. Make them feel like, yo, we appreciate being here. We love what you did. You know what I'm saying? Because this particular person was pretty much saying, like, yo, yeah, we've supported a lot of stuff. And when we got there, it was nothing like when it was sold. That wasn't what it was. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
that's the shit to me that pisses me off because it's like, now you fucking it up for everybody else that's
Correct.
doing it right. You know,
And
so,
my
so
question was very intentional, in this perspective. So that's why I was interested to hear what you have to say, because you're actually, um, the machine behind what you do, as well as Mike. So I mean, it's an open question to the panel, but I really wanted to know what your temperature is,
yeah, I
because
don't
you're
knock.
more intimately involved.
Yeah, I don't knock no. But like I said, there's something for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Some people shop at Walmart, some people shop at Target. You know what I'm saying? It's your preference. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But all
But
I'm saying, if you're gonna be in this cigar game, doing an event or whatever the case may be, just do the shit right and deliver on what you say you're gonna deliver on. Because then again, your fuck up is gonna make the rest of us. Because unfortunately, they lump us all together. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like, oh, it's another black cigar event. It's another cigar week. You know what I'm saying? So when you have one or two people, because no matter how much good we do, they're gonna focus on the bad, right?
Right.
So it could be one event that does some shady shit, and they're gonna look at all of us and be like, oh, I'm not supporting these. That's pretty much what he says. Like, we're not, as a company, we decided not to support any more of these cigar weeks. I'm like, damn, wow, that's crazy. And again, it was disheartening for me because it's like, damn,
Yeah.
like, here I am doing the shit the right way, but because of one bad apple or two bad apples, I'm getting lumped in with the same fucking crap. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Right.
it really put me in a bad space. And I'll be honest, I almost fucking said, fuck it, I'm not doing this shit no more.
Mhm.
I'll go back and doing my fucking
Mhm.
food festivals and my other festivals. I'm
Mhm.
like, this shit is ridiculous.
Mhm.
well, this about the most I have been quiet in a long time. But you know what? Now I got to chime in on this right here.
Okay.
You know, I would love to see the day because and I'm not gonna say we all topic because we got the man true to the game right here. I told him he like the Steve Harvey of the industry earlier today, and so since we're on the
Where's Steve
topic,
got
because
some problems right now? Look.
we're supposed to be about Mike, but Mike, we're gonna get to you. We got to run over with this just a little bit because, but in this industry, I think we're not even missing the bigger picture, but we can build the bigger picture. Everything is so individualized that it will soon dwindle, run out, run down. Like Jay said, because one bad apple don't know what they're doing over here, and then it'll turn the culture against even going. What we ought to do, and it's just my opinion now, and I look at things from different perspectives, but if we ever come together as a whole coalition and group, like the Deltas have their little, gathering the Qs have their conclave once a year, and then, and everybody come together put their resources in one pot and on a larger scale, potentially feed everybody and put things in their pockets. But I think, we ought to get to the point to where we build it, capitalize, and meet in one city. It happens once a year. You got a committee. The committee, can take, set up your nonprofit to do this in every year. It's almost like, how Big Smoke do theirs and bring everybody together. But man, we're on such a larger scale right now than we could ever imagine, because as many people as it may seem like the same people all the time, and usually is, but when you come together and put things together, and as a whole, with different people, with, Jay's experience, with CIGAR Mike's experience, and come together with, a plan. I mean, we got a program manager here, I think, on and that's Cheryl. I mean, you could plan a magnitude of an event, giant, and just reap the resources and of it, and do it right. You get your airfare, hotel, etc., and make it a package. And again, I think that if we don't come together soon and do it that way, that things will start to dwindle down. Everything has this high fizz, and then all of a sudden, it loses its flavor. So, just my thought. Had to add that in there, and so
good.
Okay, so I want to say, a lot of people are throwing their hats in this arena. The growth of cigar lounges and events is tremendous. Is there a piece of the pie for everybody? And the cigar culture or the industry, is it a little bit cliquish as well? Is it all about who you know that's going to determine if you succeed or not?
All right, I'll take that.
Go.
All right.
Mm.
So it's a couple of things that you should prepare yourself for. And this is going to sound very oxymoronic, or just like a moron. Either one. In this industry in particular, with dynamic growth, there's also dynamic attrition. That sounds like it makes absolutely no sense. But let me say this to you. Every day, somebody's wife goes, you've been smoking 30 years. Okay, we're good. Somebody's doctor goes, all right, buddy, 25 years, getting a little older now. Every day, somebody dies. So at minimum, every day, we lose 3 cigar smokers. That's it. And that's just simple numbers. That's every day of the year. Now, that's attrition. The dynamic growth, yeah, there are way more cigar parties, there are more cigar events, there are more people in music videos and in magazines and that smoking cigars, and then people go, ooh, and they go out and they grab a cigar. Yet we're still 1.5 to 2.5% of the United States populace, because a lot of those people are not going to become the smokers. And I'm not even going to say that we are on this panel, but they're not even going to be the 3 cigars a week. You ask them they smoke cigars and they go, oh yeah, when's the last one you had one? Oh man, I think it was like February or something, I'm like, I was at an event and they had. So what we think is dynamic growth, it's not actually as rich as we would want it to be. But because of the perception of that, you have a lot of people who want to come into the industry. Now I'm going to be very separate and specific. The industry. You want to open a cigar store. Okay. You want to be an influencer. Okay. You want to be a reviewer. Okay. Unfortunately, there's no qualification or quantification that's required to do any of this. You don't have to have a certification to open a cigar store or to be an influencer or any of that. So people get to walk into this business. Some of them altruistic enough, but there are a fair amount of culture vultures who just see the opportunity
Mm-hmm.
to present themselves in front of people who have means or resources or, for lack of a better term, clout.
Mm.
Mhm.
So when you stand back and look at the industry, you can see, and that's why I said the industry, because those people are not part of the culture. Because you open a cigar store does not make you a part of the culture.
Exactly.
Because you buy a Ferrari does not make you part of Ferrari culture. That means you have a
Mm.
Ferrari. You have a cigar store.
Mm.
You have a cigar store and you had it for 5 years, and you say you've never been to PCA, you've never been to TPE, and you say, "Oh, I don't need to go there," then how would you consider yourself as being part of the culture?
Mm-hmm.
That is our Super Bowl. That's where we sit and we have dialogue with each other. That's where you see one manufacturer talking with another manufacturer, yet you thought they were competition. These guys are best of friends and sharing tobacco and blending with each other.
Mm-hmm.
That is the culture.
Mm-hmm.
That's cigar culture. Cigar culture is coming into a cigar shop and just speaking to people. Hey, how you doing? I never met you before. I'm so and so. I never met. How you doing? How y'all doing? Hey, you know what? Can we bring by? I got a bottle. And sitting down and having fellowship with people that you know or maybe you don't know. That's a part of the culture. Walking in the
Well,
cigar shop.
Mike, you know, I'm gonna have to be honest with you, Mike. I'm so glad that people get the opportunity right here on this broadcast to see this particular side of you, because there's a different passion from you. This passion here is more of your business perspective, your knowledge, and your savvy in the industry versus your entertainment side, because you certainly are the entertainer of the cigar industry, and we appreciate that. My first time actually getting to really see you was in Philly when I went to Philly Cigar Week, and I said,
Right.
"Man, who is this dude here?" Right? Heard about you, but then when you see the live and living color, I was like, "Oh, okay, that's Cigar Mike." Then you hit the table move, man. Got up on the table. I believe if it was a stripper pole, then you probably would have got on that too. But I mean, you thoroughly enjoyed what you were doing, cigar in hand, didn't miss a
Oh, yeah.
beat, mic in hand, and it was like it drink, mic, cigar, and then your antics. How do you do it?
Uh, I came from the nightclubs. I've worked in nightclubs since I was 17,
Mm,
and I've nightclubs. I did a lot of security, personal security. I was security in the projects. I did all that. I done some of everything, but entertainment wise, I did a lot of marketing, promotions, and stuff like that for nightclubs, different concerts, stuff like that. And when I found myself in the cigar industry, asking myself, like, what are you doing? Like, you don't have a cigar, you don't have a store. Like, bro, why are you here? I'm doing events, and people are, entertained. And then I said, you know what? I literally woke up one day and said, this is what you've been doing all your life.
mm,
I'm just entertaining people. People want to be entertained
Mm-hmm.
and educated. So I call it cigar edutainment. But yeah,
mm,
I could get a bunch of people to come out to an event. But here's Robert Caldwell and his cigar. You don't have to ask me about it. You can ask this gentleman about it. And here's a new spirit. And we got a DJ or we got a live band. So you leave there feeling like you learned something, but you had a good time.
Yeah.
And that's just what I provide. I'm a good time guy. I enjoy seeing people having a good time, and if I can be the curator of that, you know, all the better.
Mm-hmm.
And because of my knowledge and time in the industry, I can do it in such a way that I can grab a lot of boutique guys and
mm-hmm,
put them in front of people and help them, showcase their brands. And because of my friends in the industry who are more well seasoned and have bigger brands, I'm able to take both of them and put them on the same platform. I can have a big brand and two boutiques in the same room. And now what you see is they're all on the same level.
Mm.
I get to take the competition out of your eyes. Like, oh, well, I thought he would be mad at them, and this guy's over here talking about their products. Like, hey, these some good young guys. They got a good product. Check it out.
Right.
This product is going to sell.
Mm-hmm.
If AJ Fernandez is there, if his rep is there, it's going to sell. Perdermo is going to sell.
Mm-hmm.
These other guys who are coming in who want to be the next AJ Fernandez, who want to be the next Sean Williams, Matt Booth, Robert Caldwell, giving them opportunities. And I'm glad that I'm, positioned so that I'm able to, help push that along.
Mike, I want you to answer this particular question right here, if you don't mind, man. If you could see it from Ramona Davis. If I'm not mistaken, I believe I don't know Ramona personally, but I know the name. I know she rides. I think she's in the Atlanta area.
Yes, she is.
Okay. I know I see her pop up in some of the groups, especially the Daytona group. So I do know she ride. I know the bike she got. And Ramona, we're gonna let Cigar Mike tackle your question. I know Cheryl probably just eating and her skin is crawling right now to get to that question right there. But Cigar Mike, and Cheryl gonna go after you because we talked about this earlier. So how do you see our cigar community that's engaged in the cigar industry? Is it really trending? So how do you look at that, aspect of it? Because, I'm a biker. So one thing I can't do, Chester is a biker, but, I see guys rolling with their cigar in their mouth and because you know what, I'm not, I want to enjoy my cigar sitting down, relaxing. I can't get on my bike and, look like Sons of Anarchy and, I got ash and smoke blowing in my face. And if I do it, then trust and believe, I'm going to find the cheapest $2 cigar I can get, put it in my mouth and roll down the way. Because eventually I know I'm probably just going to spit it out. Because they're going to get on my
You can do it with the 8x80.
And fire and ash hitting in my face. So anyway, Cigar Mike, go ahead and answer that question, man.
Now, the motorcycle community is always been, I see as a big part of cigar culture because you got to remember cigars, they can be kind of a self-esteem, just like a motorcycle. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of bikers that come out to different events, support different events. If there's a big motorcycle event, you got to have somebody there with cigars, and it's not the vast majority of the bikers, just like it's not cigar smokers aren't the vast majority of anybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. It's the people who do that 1.5 to 2.5, 3% of the people who do, want to come out and enjoy a cigar. And especially in Atlanta, we're around bikers all the time, popping in and out of events. Some of them ride there, some of them don't. Spring and summer, you're gonna hear them coming a mile away.
Mm-hmm.
The biker culture is very good, and in a lot of ways similar to cigar culture itself.
Oh, you're definitely right. Wherever there is a cigar event, there's going to be a cigar vendor on deck and cigar accessories, etc. The whole 9 yards. So, Cheryl, go ahead. You need the question again?
Absolutely not. So for those that don't know, being brand ambassador for Penta Smoke Mobile Lounge, so we're the only mobile cigar lounge, Bike Week, probably Leesburg and PBJ FHO. Well, so I literally see hundreds of thousands of people every year collectively. A lot of them are repeat customers. We appreciate you. But honestly, taking the recreational part of it out, from maybe 2017, 2018, I definitely do see the bike culture And the cigar culture, lockstep, it's a logic to me. It's a logical pairing. To your point, people think, maybe Sons of Anarchy, or riding down Route 66, and you're not thinking about, okay, that might work for a minute until, like you say, there's ash flying and everything. But the way the lounge is set up is customers can actually come and sit down in a lounge similar setting. They're not on the bike, they're not out walking the strip, and they can still get the lounge vibe that they're looking for while enjoying the cigars. And some of the same people have been coming back over and over again and become friends like family. Um, some you know by name and some by face, some by club. Very supportive. It's something that culturally blending the two is not for everybody, because it's just a different vibe, it's a different energy. But certainly, having been around it many years before I blended the two into my lifestyle, um, I love it. I look forward to it every year. Bike Week's coming up, since they've moved the dates from March 1st to March 10th. And it's just like what Mike does. The minute that event is over, the next day those hotels are sold out. And so we really look forward to getting to see people come and break bread with us and chop it up over a good smoke, talking about what's new out there. See a lot more of our Sisters of the Leaf coming over and showing love and participating in it. So I think it's a great thing. I've been doing it 7 years now, and big things coming up in the 2024 season. So everybody, look for me. We're always in the same spot, Bethune and Pearl Street, and come smoke one with me.
She'll never be around me though. She be, if I'm,
I will definitely see you and Chester this weekend. That's
Ah,
done.
but you know what?
right.
But you know what? To Ramona and her point, of course, Chris and Cheryl, probably for at least 80% of the time that I've been in this business,
Mm-hmm.
it's been really prevalent. Like I remember 20 years ago, people would invite me to their motorcycle clubhouses when they had events to come out and sell cigars.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, this is it's not a new thing.
Right.
Absolutely not.
It's
Right.
definitely not a new
Definitely
thing.
not.
Yeah, and I mean, and they tell me, or they'll call me up, when they're having their anniversary parties, or we got other guys coming to town. Hey, you want to come and set up because these guys that want to smoke. You know, it's they're both almost synonymous. You're gonna find bikers that smoke cigars. Period.
100%.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, I forgot Miss Venita Rise. Miss
I
Keep
did.
It Class. Yeah. Mhm.
Until I come home and I got a long line of people behind me.
Wait a minute, you said you come home, you got a long line of what? People behind you.
Pause.
It's probably all that ass.
And I can't even wear no chaps no more. Just they following the chaps.
If I may take a moment, because I think I saw my woman on here somewhere. A shout out to my lady, Miss Peaches, Tatted Smoke. I think I saw.
All right.
She is. Hi,
Yes, yes.
All
Chi-Town
right.
Peaches.
Mike,
Go ahead.
that's my next question to you, Mike. I want to ask you about your better half, the lovely Chi-Town Miss Peaches.
Yeah.
You guys are a phenomenal couple.
Thank you.
Cool.
What goes into branding and the support of each other? What is it like to have somebody hustling with you on the grind? And she have her own grind in her own right. She's shining.
Mm.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's for me, it's very organic. Um, I never ask anybody to do anything that they don't want to do or they wouldn't ordinarily do. And
Mm-hmm.
her support for me was organic. Hey, you doing this? Well, you know what? I'm on these various platforms all the time. I'm going to post what you're doing, and my support for her is, hey, whatever you're doing, or if there's a resource or anything that you need, of course that's there. So it's a working relationship. It's a working relationship, and you got to be there. And for me, I offer a lot of knowledge and understanding of kind of what's to come.
Mhm.
So that's probably my biggest thing. I'm kind of like, okay, there's this, but still got to be wary of this. And then, when this happens, this, because she's not just a an apparel brand. She's a brand of her own. She works with Puff Sip Chat, the podcast,
Mm.
Loyal to Ash, the subscription box. So she works within the industry. So just trying to like with anybody that you care about, like anybody on this podcast, if there's a decision that you're about to make and you have a question about it, any of you can call me and be like, Mike, what do you think about this? And it's the same with her. So if she don't have to call, she just do like this, you know.
Are you guys ever in competition with each other?
I see competition once a day when I look in the mirror.
Hey,
Mm.
There's
Woo.
that's a
I've never
great
Woo.
done
answer.
anything in my life that competed with anybody. I don't even play team sports.
That's deep, bro.
Nah, you
Yeah.
Mm.
can't think like that. It's
That's right.
and
You are your only competition.
yeah,
As soon as your feet hit the floor.
I mean, and Ferg and I can attest to this. Black Smoke and Atlanta Cigar Week, we both started the same year. We were 6 weeks apart.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
6 weeks apart. Now, not 18 months later is this to the point where now it's, I want to say 29 or so cigar or similar activities like that throughout the country.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I can safely speak for Jay. None of them are my competition.
Mhm.
I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Destination. Thank you, RG. I don't think Destination Hurst feels like they're in competition with anybody. Because for me, I'm doing me, and I'm doing it in my city, and I'm doing it
Mm-hmm.
the way I know how to do my city. You ain't gonna find nobody that can do Atlanta better than me. Period.
Hey, man.
So all I'm saying is come hang out. If
Yeah.
if I'm blessed enough, and people, I'm very blessed if people book me, and I travel to these different events, Houston Cigar Week, I did Philly Cigar Week. I guarantee you a good time. I'll go out of my way to make sure you have a good time. I'm not in VIP. I don't have VIPs. I go around, I talk to everybody, I shop with the vendors, I hang out, because this is what I love about the culture. So
Mm-hmm.
if you can find somebody that can do me better than me, good luck.
Hey, hey.
So, Mike, we got a question from Miss Davis on the board, man. And you know what? One of the things I respect about you is we were in Vegas together for a PCA show, and not only do you just do this and are true to it in a sense, you actually have built a straight solid palette for cigars, from boutique to premium to, I mean, some of the exclusive cigars from Fuentes and to Padrones and etc. And so, looking at her question, how would you guide her, and what direction would you give her in terms of what she has written here, because I'm gonna tell you, I respect your knowledge in this, and how you have not only brought us Mike Bennett, Cigar Mike, the entertainment experience, but you also have something to offer in terms of the education of cigars, and so that's what makes it a respect, even more, because you take the time to educate yourself in this, and as long as you've been in it, I can appreciate that you're not just doing it, you're living it, you're educating people with it. So if you don't mind answering Miss Davis's question.
Not at all. So I don't feel like it's wrong to try to help elevate somebody's palate. I think that the problem that a lot of people run into is not being able to meet people where they are. I can inundate you with terms like woodsy and tannins and this, that, and the other. You're gonna look at me like I'm out of my mind, like you're talking to a rocket scientist.
Mm-hmm.
There are rocket scientists that can talk to you in a way where you go, okay, I understand that part of it. You cannot force information. I can't tell you. I can't see Jay smoking a stick and be like, oh, Jay, that's a garbage stick. And Jay sitting there in heaven, like, what are you saying? Like, I love
right.
the best cigar in the world is the one you like the most.
Yeah.
And I've seen literal millionaires walk into a cigar a store and get a bundle of Flor de Olivas. That's what they like. Now you can
look, that's a good cigar, Mike. Don't say that was short.
For the $3, I'm loving it.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna tell you now, and that Maduro straight fried or Habano is good too. I can't do the Connecticut though.
But a lot of people look at the price and go, "Oh, I wouldn't smoke that." All right, that's you.
Right.
I've smoked cigars that don't even exist anymore, that I can say, "Oh, well, it's better than what you're smoking."
Right.
But I can't tell you this wine is better than that wine. This bourbon is better than that bourbon. And there's a kind of competition where people try to exert their knowledge and hey, I had this kind of bourbon. Okay, that's nice. I had Weller when it was $9.99 a bottle.
Man, say so. Because to be honest with you, if you look at the Weller Reserve, it ain't but $39.99. But man, you go in the liquor store today, it's gonna be $139.99.
Right.
So this is a constant argument.
It's not a
constant
snob
argument.
I call them the cigar snobs, right? Because like everybody feels like, it's always a guy that feels like you said earlier, like, because I'm smoking an expensive cigar, I know more, I know better. Like, that doesn't make, like, I always say, like, there's no bad cigar, right? It's always, is this what fits your palate? And like, I don't like those people that walk around and act like, try to chastise somebody in the lounge. Oh, you smoking that shit? Like, yeah, this is what I'm smoking. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I like. And I feel
it happens a lot.
Yeah, and it's like who are you to tell me what I should like? That's ridiculous to me. It's like, you smoke what works for you. It's like, those people to me are like, who are you trying to impress? What are you trying to prove? Like, if it works for you, smoke that shit, yo.
I mean, at the end of the day, you bought it.
Right. Yeah. It's your money you spent.
Who are you to tell me I'm smoking a bad cigar? Fuck out of here.
Right. But when people come to me and ask, when you're working in a lounge, so your challenge is always, there's no way you're going to smoke every single thing, but I make a concerted effort to smoke across the swath of the faces that are there. So when someone comes and says, the typical one, oh, I only smoke Cubans. Really? Every time, every event, there's always that one person, until I start saying, well, have you been to Cuba? Have you been to farm? Have you this? But then, I divert that conversation to, listen, what do you typically smoke? Normally I can't get the answer. Or what brands do you like? And here, let me tell you about this that may be
Mhm.
similar in profile, and kind of get you turned on to something else.
Right.
And it's just one of those things that's kind of obnoxious to me that comes part and parcel with um, the industry, because you have people that know a lot about a little and people that know a little about a lot,
Mhm.
and never the two shall meet because both think they're the experts when it comes to that.
But
And
And it's
some
again,
not,
know
if you
a whole
just
lot
meet
about
people where they
nothing.
are, if
and
you
it's not,
just say, okay, you're smoking this, oh, that's cool, that's cool. Have you ever tried one of these?
Yeah,
Then you take that knowledge that you have and you break it down like, okay, well, it's a Nicaraguan filler and binder, but it has an Indonesian wrapper on it, and you're smoking this, and I think you might like some of the elements in this. It's a little sweet.
Mhm.
It's got a
it's
little hit.
cross-selling 101.
Right.
Oh,
I do it all the time.
you
Exactly.
sold it to them,
and there's
or
that,
you can take what they drink. You can
there's
go,
always
okay,
that,
so what are you gonna drink?
there's always that one guy like, I only smoke Cubans.
And
Every time.
That's what
Oh
Cheryl
my
said.
God. Every single time.
and
There's
you know
that
what I
one
tell them?
person.
Yeah.
And the best bourbon.
You know my next question to the guy that says I only smoke Cubans. I said, you mean the ones you got on sale on the beach in Mexico?
Yeah.
Right.
Yo, everybody that's ever come,
In the box.
anyone that's ever come to me and said, "Yo, I got a cigar for you. I got a Cuban for you," and I'm like, "Here we go with this bullshit." And it's never a good, like, when Cuba was open and everybody was going to Cuba, going to Cuba, going to Cuba. Everybody that came back like, "Yo, I brought you back a cigar." I'm like, "Where'd you get it?" Or there was a guy at the hotel. I'm like,
Right.
all
On
right,
the beach.
There
In
are
the
fake
airport.
Cubans in Cuba.
right. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
you cut that shit. You cut that shit open. It's like dust. It's like
Chop,
not one whole leaf in the whole cigar.
all chop.
It's all
Chopped
chopped.
up stems.
You might have some of the Cuban national newspaper in there though.
Oh,
Mm.
probably.
Yeah.
I don't even trip when someone says, I smoke a flavor cigar. I never downplay that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
That's
just
the
like you
thing.
said, you meet people where they are. So if you smoke, let me introduce you to something that's light, maybe not flavored, so that your palate can expand. And you
Right.
never downplay what someone is smoking. You
Do you
never
like drip? Do you like infused?
So
smoking is
look.
peace. It's about relaxation. So I want to
Absolutely.
make sure whatever I transfer to you keeps you in the same pocket.
Right. Now I do talk shit. Now you come to me,
Yeah.
pick you aside.
Now, it's a difference.
You
It's a
gotta-
difference. But
you
Mike,
gotta-
Not for me.
let me ask you a question, Mike. Have you ever endured or smoked a flavored cigar just to know what information to give to the person or woman or man that asked you what's a good flavored cigar that I can smoke? So I mean, I ain't gonna. I've had to smoke a Ruby Blue. Oh, it was
I've
killing me.
had to.
The box.
You know, I smoked the Java Mint. I can't
Okay,
even.
so and
Say
I'm
it.
trying to put this in a political.
Just give it to me straight with no chaser, bro.
No, because it can affect some brands, and I'm not going to do that. What I'm
Yeah.
going to say is this: there are brands of flavored cigars that exist, and I know the pedigree of that cigar,
Right.
what's in that cigar, and it's not something that I would ordinarily smoke anyway.
Right.
Now, because I know that, I'm simply not going to smoke that. Now, one of the things that I will smoke, I've had acids, I've had various acids since damn near since their inception.
Yeah.
I can't, it doesn't, I actually get a headache. I mean, and shouts out Jonathan Drew, he's a buddy of mine. He won't even hand me one. He goes, Mike, you don't smoke these. Here, smoke this. You know what I'm saying? What I do tell people about acids, about because I'm not going to talk negatively about anybody's cigar, but I will speak positively about an acid, about a tobacco, about Javas, about the Oliva Nub Cafes. They are quality tobacco that has flavor in it versus D grade tobacco that has flavor that's masking the
terrible tobacco.
Mhm.
The lower grade of tobacco that's presented within them. You know what I'm saying? So yes, I have, and I don't mind the tobacco in the morning with my coffee. Absolutely amazing. I will smoke. Shout out to Nick Melillo. I will smoke the upsetter. I think it's like a petite Corona.
Mm-hmm.
Great, especially if you got some upsetters coffee.
Mm.
Not many of them will I smoke because I'm going up and up and up. I've had to back myself down on a couple of different occasions. You know, at one time I was smoking 3, LFDs a day. You know, and I had to go, whoa, and I was putting hot sauce on ice cream. I couldn't taste nothing. And I was just,
Feeling a little woozy.
it wasn't, but it wasn't coming that
Hey,
strong.
bro.
It wasn't resonating.
Man.
And
So
I had
look,
to stop. I had to put myself on break for like a month. And
Yeah.
then back and start smoking stuff like Buteras and things that I know have this amazing amount of flavor in them. So now I can still, so now because I have to talk to so many people about cigars, I will kind of segment my cigars. I will smoke. I start the day with probably about a medium and then go on from there.
Mm-hmm.
my first box of cigars I ever had, like the first full box of cigars I ever got, was a box of Javas. And no, I'm sorry, not Javas.
Mr. Bob.
Yeah, I think it was a Java. Yeah, I was doing a golf tournament, and they were one of the sponsors. And the girl that was like over like the hospitality for the golf tournament. She was like, "Hey, you smoke cigars?" I'm like, "Yeah, I smoke cigars." I was just getting into the game. It was like 20 years ago. And she was like, here's a box. I'm like, oh shit, a whole box of cigars. And I was excited as shit, you know what I mean? But this is before I actually really started smoking cigars. Like I was kind of like one of those casual, like if there's a cigar there, I'll smoke it. But I felt so like empowered that I had a box of cigars to go home with, you know. But it's like it was like one of those like coming of ages moments for me, like, yo, I got a box of cigars.
That
I
first box,
started out fancy.
that first box hit different.
Cheroots
Yeah.
and
You got a
and
box?
cloves back in the 90s, and it wasn't this socialized. And I had maybe 5 or 6 friends from the 90s up until 2014 where it was somebody's house
Right.
stick, or cheroot is even less than that, so to speak. And I just gradually, morphed into larger vitolas and that sort of thing. But it's like Mike, I have to. Um, I'm a full body girl, medium to full. I started out that way, so my predilection to have to back myself down to sometimes even Habano. Um, every once in a while, Connecticut, and then but I'm usually I love the dark and oily. I'm a dark and oily kind of girl. So
Or
it's
But
melanin to melanin.
sometimes you can find a really good. Sometimes I feel like there's some Connecticut's out there that I'm not a big Connecticut smoker, but I have smoked some really good ones.
Yeah,
And when you find
Southern
those good
Lost
ones,
one.
yeah, when you find those good Connecticut's, it's like for me down here in Miami, I'll give me a cup of Cuban coffee in the morning and smoke a Connecticut, and that's a great way for me to start my day. So
Yeah.
I'm a full body smoker.
And just for educational references, when we say Connecticut, there's a difference between Connecticut cigar and broadleaf Connecticut, because I know Jay Ferg will smoke a broadleaf Connecticut because he got the Amazon basin and it's rolled in a broadleaf Connecticut. So it's for drone, and so is Lord have mercy, trying to get the other name that's rolled in.
I think
Anyway,
FSG does.
huh?
Florida Sungrown.
So Mike, let's start some shit, Mike. So you've been this game.
Let the dogs out.
You've been in this game for a long time. Like you said, when you first started going to ICPCR back in the day, old school.
it was actually the RTD. It was the RTDA.
RTDA. Man, you got that further than me.
Wow.
So
not too many people remember that.
So right now we have an influx of smaller boutique brands coming out, right? a lot of minority-owned cigar brands, right?
Mhm.
So, what's your take on like the quality of some of the minority brands that are coming out, and like in terms of like, because you got, okay, I'm gonna call it what it is. The people that are buying bundles and putting labels on them, right? And they just throwing them out there.
That's not a brand.
Right, but no, but you can't tell them that shit. They think they're a fucking
I
brand,
can't.
right?
You do it all the time.
And it, like, do you feel like, how do you feel like that's affecting the culture and the industry? Again, going back to what we talked about earlier with from the event side, everybody wants to do an event, everybody wants to be a lounge or a brand owner. How do you what would your advice be to someone that comes to you with clearly a bundle cigar they put a label on, in terms of what kind of advice would you give them in terms of like the direction they should really go in to really get the shit right? Because I know what I tell them.
I've had that happen quite often. So what I tell people is this: I said, listen, if you want to be in the cigar business, then be in the business. And I mean, I've had clients that I've flown with them to Miami, and I introduced them to manufacturers. I said, if you want to do this right, these are the steps. And I told them, if you want to be my client, we got to take a trip to Miami.
Mm.
And they went down there. They didn't have to go to Nicaragua. They got sent an exorbitant amount of samples, and they went through and they went through and they went through, and they were like, okay, I like this one, but can you put the wrapper from this one on this one? And I think this is what we like. And it worked out for them. At the very least, that is the process that you should go through. If you're buying bundled cigars and you're saying, hey, this is my brand, it's not. I mean, you want to go to the county fair and sell them, that's fine. But you don't have a cigar brand. And then when you try to go into a brick and mortar store and say, oh, okay, yeah, the wholesale on my cigar is $8, I'm like, bro, that's a Padron. Do you realize that by the time we keystone that product, it's Padron price?
Right.
So what you're telling me is something that you pay. I'm not gonna say what people pay for, but something that you pay far less for than a Padron, that it costs far less to manufacture than a Padron. You want that to be on the same shelf, and that's not right. And we all on here know people who have spent a considerable amount of money, and they have products that are manufactured through Arganosa and Luciano Morales and Martinez out of New York. So some people have stuff through Sandy down at Titan de Bronze, that they went through that process. They spent thousands of dollars developing their bands, their packaging. They waited, an additional 8 weeks for the boxes to come in. They've been through that. And you want to tell me, hey, I'm in the cigar game because I went and bought 10 bundles and I printed off some bands. Bro, that don't fly with me. I can't. And I tell people point blank, we can have another drink, but I can't help you. There's nothing.
Jay, what would you tell him, Jay?
See, okay, so from my experience, right, I've worked with some brands, right? Like my other business that I have is a branding and marketing agency, right? So I've had some brands that have come to me and say, yo, we need a logo, we need, branding or whatever, the case may be. So my first thing is always like, what's your budget for this project? Because I want to know how serious you are about, getting this thing done right, and when I start talking and I listen to what they're saying, I said, look, it's like any other business. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to come in this game, you got to come in here, first of all, educate yourself on the product and the process. I think that's the first step. Because if you don't understand the product and the process, there's no way you can ever deliver a good quality product to the market. You know what I'm saying? So I always tell people, first of all, get your knowledge up, right? Learn the process and learn the product. Because you can buying a bundle and putting the label on it, that's terrible. You know what I'm saying? Like, invest the time and energy. And if you don't have the money to really do it, get the fuck out the game. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you're going to destroy the integrity of the game for everybody else that's trying to do it right. And again, it goes back to the whole with the event on the event side. If you have a bunch of people that's coming in the game and they start destroying their integrity, you don't want people to be like, I was having this conversation with with a black owned cigar brand the other day, and someone that I know he puts the work in. He goes to Nicaragua. He puts the work in on his brand. And one of the things he was saying is like he doesn't want to be put in that box of like, oh, here come another one of these black owned brands that's not doing it right. You know what I'm saying? So I always feel like my first thing would be get your knowledge up. You know what I'm saying? Understand your product, understand the process, because it's a process. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to just wake up tomorrow and say, "Oh, I have a cigar brand. Here you go." It takes time. You got that shit. It go. The blending process can take a while to get it right. You know what I'm saying? Like once you get the blend right, then you got to get them rolled. Then they got to be aged. Then you got to get your packaging right. You got to get your marketing plan, your strategy. That's always my advice. Is like, yo, get your knowledge up and get your process in place. Because if you don't have no process and you don't have the knowledge, you're gonna just be wasting money. So save your money and go open up a freaking 7-Eleven or something. I don't know.
Donut shop.
Let me entertain this question right here. And Ramona Davis, thank you for all your hanging in there with us and your questions, because they're most helpful, and we got the right panel here. And because I know you're in the Atlanta area, I'm gonna defer this to Cigar Mike. But what I also want to say is, J Ferg, you have a diversified panel here. Each and every one of us have our own areas of expertise as it pertains to the cigar industry. And today I chose to smoke my pipe. I'm not smoking it a lot. I'm in the house, so I'm, letting it go out, smoking it, light it, just to get a little taste of tobacco. But I'm sure any one of these individuals that's on our panel can educate, on the pipe as well. But Cigar Mike, just reading the question, if you just need a second to read it and absorb, it before you answer it, I would love for you to give her information, what she can do, possibly book you to get any education or cigar education, to groups or various organizations that, she might want to, get you for. And then Jay Ferg, just speak on, your knowledge and, and what you do, because it's not just, Destination Herb, etc. But, we have a diverse, panel here to do things and to be able to book and utilize their knowledge to educate people wanting to get into this industry and culture of, smoking fine cigars and libations. It don't just stop at the cigars, it's pairing, everything that goes with it, associate with it for the total experience and your relaxation. So, Cigar Mike.
Well, I would say this, because I do have a couple of pipes, and I'm actually horrible at it, so I won't do it in public. But I do enjoy smoking a pipe, and there are a lot of directions to go with pipe smoking. Most people tend to gravitate to the aromatics, whereas I gravitate more to like the Latakias, the Syrians, the Burleys, something that's like, it's almost like smoking a cigar. So in pipe terms, Latakia is almost like saying Lajero, as far as blends would go. So that's kind of stuff that I like. Stuff that you probably have to rub out. It'll come in a flake or something like that. You got to rub it out, break it down, and put it in your pipe. And that's just saying how broad the spectrum of pipe smoking can go.
And Ramona, your question, and I didn't think about it at the time, because I really, wanted to get a honest, answer from, our guest host as well. But Miss Venita is an avid pipe smoker. I mean, so I sometimes I think she might be a little better than me, but we're gonna have to debate.
Put my money on Venita.
But she can answer that question, because she has hers right now, and like me, she's in the house. She's not gonna light it. I've lit mine, let it go out, occasionally, just to get a little, dab of tobacco on my tongue with my scotch. But to Venita, go ahead, have at it, sister.
Look, the pipe, it's an extension of me and who I am. So I love my pipe, although I am a cigar smoker. my pipe, I picked it up 10 years ago and I'm never going to put it down. Um, it is, it's smooth. It's a nice, a very nice smoke. It takes work. People don't realize that a pipe, in order for you to pack it and, and get the right light on it, the right burn and
Aerate.
inhaling and exhaling, it takes work. Unlike the cigar where you just puff and puff and puff it, you got to think when you smoke in the pipe. And although I do not smoke flavored cigars, my pipe tobacco, I love my cream brulee. I love my butternut rum. I
Mm.
love cherry wood flavors. And a lot
Mm.
of people don't realize that what you smell is not what I taste when I'm smoking a pipe.
Right.
You
Oh
know,
Lord.
it's nostalgia for me as well, because not growing up in the South, but going to the South, the summer months, my grandfather and my uncles, and even the older women smoke corn pipe,
Mhm. Right.
corn pipe. And so that cherry smell or that apple flavor or the cherry flavor, that was that was everything to me. And
Yeah.
I love my pipe. And when I decided I had pneumonia about 10 years ago, my doctor said, "Hey, look, you better lay off them cigars." And I'm like, well, if I pick up the pipe, it might be a lighter smoke. And so I really enjoyed it. But I didn't want to look like Sherlock Holmes or, Albert Einstein. I wanted a feminine pipe. So I did my research and I found pipe makers in Yugoslavia and in Greece and in Turkey to order my pipes from. And I always go back to one place, and I'm going to plug this place for my pipe tobacco, and that is a
Hmm.
Paradise Island, because I want to feel the tobacco that I'm buying, and he has it in bulk. I want to see the moisture in it, and I want to see the different flavors. And I like to put a little Kentucky cut on it too, sometime, and just to mix it up. And but it's it, it's something that when you try it, it's a nice feeling when you're sitting and you're relaxing. Your pipe gives you something different than your cigar will give you. And
Yeah.
and like I said, I'm in my bedroom, so I'm not actually lighting up, and I'm still recovering from an upper respiratory infection. But still,
Yeah.
um, the pipe needs time. It needs time. It needs
Yeah.
effort.
Let
But it's really nice. It's really
Yeah.
nice.
Let me say this about the pipe, especially since you touched on a couple tobaccos. The pipe, unlike cigars, is one of the easiest things to get turned off from. And
Because it's work.
she expressed and she talked about a lot of tobaccos that had sugar, but then she came back and said, "I like to mix a little, like a Virginia or Kentucky cut tobacco
Mhm.
with it." Because one of the things you're going to experience, while the pipe is pleasant for other people that's around you,
Mhm.
the smell is going to be great. But for the smoker of it, the sugar in it will burn your tongue.
Yeah.
So the way that you cool that off is mix it with a good Kentucky blend, Virginia blend. That's like a kind of straight cut tobacco for pipes, because it's a nice long tobacco in strips. It'll cool, the smoke down.
Yes.
And so for beginners, I would suggest that you find something that will be more cool than sweet. Sweet will burn your tongue. When you put something cool on your tongue, then it's going to sting. And so then you're going to get this discomfort and this displeasure about smoking a pipe. You're never going to pick it up again. And you're going to think it's the worst and bad experience in the world. No, it's not. You just have to get the right person to educate you on the pipe
Right.
and let you know the intricacies of smoking it, how to pack it, because when you pack it in layers, and pack it the right way in layers, it burns in intervals that give you the maximum smoking time. Like this particular bowl that I have here, I can smoke this pipe for an hour if I wanted to keep it lit.
Mhm.
It's how I pack it. Don't be scared to pack it. Fill the thing up from the bottom to the top. People shortchange themselves thinking if they pack it loose, this, that. No, you pack it loose, your bowl gonna burn hot. It's gonna burn be hot in your hands. It's gonna be discomfort. It's levels to this. particular part right here. So this is the part right here where you definitely want to get somebody that knows, and then the pipe is going to be important. The more expensive the pipe, the better brine you're going to have on the inside to give you a better burn. So don't think that spending $29 on a pipe and then it gets hot and then you have no. If you're going to pick this up, spend your money and get you a good bowl. And I have like 30 something pipes, but to be honest with you, this one pipe right here can last me a lifetime. Most of the pipes that I have are just for style and grace. Like Venita, she has a lot. Anyway,
So,
Mike.
I know we done went over, but let me tell you my first experience with Mike. I met Mike in a cigar lounge, and I was telling Mike, I love the pipe. I want to do Pipes and Pearls had not started yet. And I'm like, I don't know where to go and what to do. Mike gave me some really good advice and really good direction and where to start. Pipe wholesales and this and that. And he listened. He listened and he gave me some really great advice, and I appreciate him for that. And then I see Mike all the time in Atlanta, but I want to tell you guys an instance where a guy inboxed me on Facebook and he said, I'm in Houston and I see this guy, his name is CIGAR Mike. I asked him about you. And I'm like, well, I don't even know you, Ninja. What you asking about? He told me, he said, Mike told me, he was like, I know that lady who smoked that pipe. Do you know her? And Mike said,
let me tell you, y'all think Venita's all prissy and classy and all that. This girl is a straight gangster, okay? She from Chi-Town, all right? Don't let that Greek thing fool you. That girl will jack your ass up, okay? I'm going to tell you now.
Let me tell you,
Sleep on it if you want.
I'm like, well, what did CIGAR Mike tell you about me? He said, CIGAR Mike told me you're the real deal. I'm like, hey.
Mike, Venita will get your butt told. Come at her wrong, hear me?
No. See, what y'all don't understand, see, I got one over here from Chicago. I'm not playing with y'all.
Shot down in the house.
I'm good.
Woo. Man,
we don't play.
Man,
So, Mike,
like with Venita, and so, and I like what you guys just did because y'all told them how to do the cool down.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I spoke a lot about the Latakias and the bird, some of the heavier tobaccos, but you can also do the opposite. You can take a butternut, a buttercream, a Cavendish, mix to bring it, to bring a little more flavor and balance to it, so it's not so strong. So pipes are so versatile. With pipe tobacco, it can almost be like blending your own cigar because a lot of people will take their own. They're like, well, I like a little of this and a little of this, and they mix it all up, and that's what they're smoking. And it's their own exclusive blend.
English luxury.
That.
And it pairs well with coffee as well. I love my pipe in the morning with coffee.
Great pair. I love it with tea. I love it with tea. A good pipe and a chai tea. Oh my God.
Oh Lord, you one of them. Mike, you done turned bougie with this chai tea, really?
Man,
really?
Tea.
Mike.
I love tea and coffee.
Mike, let's talk about this, Mike.
Hey, baby, let's talk about it.
Look, Mike, let's get. I talked to Mike earlier. He asked me if I could get candid with him. A little bit. I think you were built for this, man. I believe that wholeheartedly. You were built for this, but there comes a time. Like let me just give you the time in my life. There was a time in my life. Hey, man, wasn't doing the right thing. Wasn't doing this. Found myself. About 40 years ago, 2 years behind federal penitentiary, etc. Come out, get out. Was I ready to get out? Hell no, because I was damn homeless. But man, and then something clicks in you, man, you need to get your life together, do some things differently and blah, blah, blah. And man, convicted felon. I took advantage of, the grant program and, that they had for fellas, put myself in school. I mean, I didn't know about this. Somebody gave it to me and gave me the knowledge, and then three masters. I already had a bachelor's, but I still wasn't just doing the right thing. But three masters and three doctors later, here I am today. Just doing my thing. But what your life experiences, man? The high, well, let's start with the lows, then the highs, man. We don't want to go from the high to the low, but because I believe you went from a low to a high, you've elevated yourself. God has given you a platform, He's given you a gift, and you're doing the doggone thing, man. But our stories, the way we tell them, they motivate other people, especially our young, to put them on an uplift that gives them, a story to hold on to, that gives them inspiration, and to say, I can make it, I can, better myself, I can do this. Tell us about your story, man.
Okay, so I'd say this. Yeah, y'all ever watch Drink Champs?
Drink Champ.
Yeah, with Noriega.
Drink Champ, like kind of like what I'm doing now, but
right.
I don't know.
Anyway, it's
okay, no, I ain't never watch it, but I'm experiencing it.
So you know that point on Drink Champs when they look at Nori and they go, all right, man, all right. So I tell people this, man. Perception is 97% of reality. Mm-hmm. But there have been times in my life, I say in the past 15 years, hey, man, I was sleeping on the train, bro. I ride the train out to the airport with a bunch of bags and sleep in the airport like I had a flight to take. I slept in my truck before. You know what I'm saying? So I realized that, there but not for the grace of God go I. Period.
Man, what?
You know what I'm saying? Every man being human has his own set of struggles. And I don't care if you got $1 billion in the bank. Jay-Z got a set of struggles.
Come on, bro. Say so.
And I don't knock nobody's struggle. I don't knock nobody's hustle. But I know one thing, to deal with me, you gotta have it in you. You can have $1 million in the bank, and if you cool with that, this ain't gonna work out, bro.
Yeah.
Because I'm a dog. And I'm a dog every day. I'm not a dog situationally. I'm a dog every day. My phone, my woman is on one side of the bed, my phone and my pistol on the other side of the bed. That's the day. That's my life. Cigars have saved my life and pulled me out of stuff on more than one occasions. Cigars and working in the bathrooms, helped me take care of my daughter. Yeah. So I will not allow anybody to disrespect it because of what is given to me. You can go somewhere else. You can talk to somebody else with that. And I've had a lot of people come to me like, Cigar Mike, you go too hard for the cigar business, and you got to look at it like this. Actually, sir, no, I don't. I look at it from my knowledge base. I look at it from, it's like if you're a car enthusiast and you had the opportunity to sit in the room with Henry Ford or Enzo Ferrari or the Chrysler brothers, you know what I'm saying? I have opportunities to sit with Jonathan Drew, with Robert Caldwell, with Eric Espinosa. You know what I'm saying? I don't take that lightly. Anything they do with me and or for me, I don't take it lightly. So when people want that light touch, what's up, Steve? Lord of Ashton building. When you want that light touch, go to somebody else. I'm not that guy. Like what Jay said, I can help you if you want to do it right. If you want some foul stuff, I'm gonna tell you, hey, bro, that ain't my ministry. That ain't how I get down. I turn down more money than I make, and I don't make a lot of money. But I make enough money to tell people no. So
where was the first start of this? Like, how did this conception come about? Where was it birthed? Like, after you came out of that particular predicament, and what elevated you to this particular level now?
I mean, it was at times, because remember I said not 15 years ago. So
Right.
it was
Right.
times in the cigar game, and I mean, you couldn't tell, because a lot of people don't understand how subjective money really, really is.
Mm.
But this is what I can tell you. I had, every day you saw me, I was clean. I wasn't in a suit, but I mean, I was clean.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I bought drinks. I smoked cigars. I ate every day. Now, there's a situation where you got some money, but do I have a deposit, first month's rent, and all that? So $2,500.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I didn't have it. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I'm a person that I recognize my circumstance and I don't knock it. I'm not mad that I had to sleep on the train or in my truck.
Right.
I was happy that I had a truck to sleep on. I was happy that I wasn't under a bridge.
Man, I think a lot of people miss that part, bro.
But that's what it is.
Yeah.
You're mad about your 1-bedroom apartment. Well, drive downtown or drive and look under some of those viaducts and stuff, and think what those people would give to have a 1-bedroom apartment.
Right.
Right.
It's okay to want more.
And they ain't know the blessing at your time was the truck.
But if you don't know the blessing of what you have, how can you want or expect more?
There you go.
Because now you think that it should be given to you. And
Love it, my man. I love it. Yes, sir.
nobody owes you a damn thing in life.
That's for sure.
There's only one thing in life that I require, and that's respect.
Mm.
And I don't know the rules to this podcast, but if you don't respect me, you can get the fuck on. Because what I'm not going to do is ask you for respect, because I'm going to give it to you until you show me that I should not.
Yes, sir.
Because we're humans, but I'm speaking as a man.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we get down. So yeah.
Oh, man. Kim Queen, what's happening, girl? Appreciate you on today.
So every day it's a constant struggle. And believe me, I've been in a house and everything, me and my lady, and that's cool, but I'm still, in my mind, the struggle is the same.
Right.
Right.
The struggle is the same, because I do this event today and I got another event tomorrow, and I'm literally in the planning stages all the way out to December 29th, 2024. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot that goes into what we do. But the blessing and the curse is the people who get to witness it didn't have to build a ship. They just get to ride.
Ooh,
enjoy the ride.
Wait a minute, hold up. Can you say that one more time?
I mean, the
people that what?
You get to enjoy the ride. You get to enjoy the motion of the ocean, but you didn't have to build a ship. We did.
Mm.
And the same is true for them in their life. You know what I'm saying? When you go talk to a consultant for IBM and he tell you he $500 an hour, well, you got the knowledge, you got the information. Why is it $500? It's $500 because I spent $200,000 in school learning this. I was an intern. I did this. I had a friend of mine who's he's an anesthesiologist.
Time is money.
Joke, and I love the joke because it makes a lot of sense in life. And one of his boys said, "Man, I looked at my anesthesiology bill, and it was $3,000." He said, "Man, y'all charge $3,000 to put people to sleep?" They said, "No, it's about 15 cents to put you to sleep. I charge the rest to wake your ass up."
I like it.
They have no problem paying it, right?
But do people understand the equations that go into analyzing that blood work to know the proper amount of anesthesia so your ass don't die?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When I'm consulting with people on cigar lounges or how to do that.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm $225 an hour, and it's a 2-hour.
Man, look, bro.
And
My degree and my PhD is in psychology, and I charge $225 per hour. And when people tell me, I say, "Well, if you got insurance, I'll take your insurance."
that part.
But it's amazing how people look at the black man or whatever, and you want to go somewhere else. Because you know what, I'm good over here. I don't need your money. But
That's it. I want
yeah,
it. I definitely want it, but I don't need it.
yeah.
I'm gonna be fine, and you'll find that in your journey. And I heard this. I watch a lot of stuff on YouTube and stuff. I go to YouTube University, so I watch a lot.
Mhm.
And there was something about a eagle. It was a hawk. I think it was a hawk, and a crow can land on a hawk's back.
Mhm.
Pick, 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 pick. The hawk doesn't do anything. A
Right.
hawk gets rid of those crows
Fly
Elevate.
high, bro.
high enough so that the air gets so thin that the crow just falls off.
That's right.
So if you continue to elevate yourself, don't be scared because some people gonna fall off.
Mm.
'Cause it
Yeah,
ain't-
man. All day long. Because
it
first
ain't-
of all, they ain't built for the
Who has
ride.
the collection plate?
yeah.
Right. Preach, Mike. Preach.
Mm-mm-mm.
Every step you take on that ladder, somebody's gonna fall off.
Mm-hmm.
Some of your biggest haters are right next to you.
Bruh,
Mm.
if they ain't built for the ride,
Biggest haters are
they can't handle the altitude that you going in.
right.
That's
Yeah.
facts.
I got more holes in the back of my jacket than a lot of people, but I still
Woo. You want to trade jackets?
I do. But I'm gonna keep moving how I move. I'm not gonna not help people
There
because
you go.
if I stop, that means they won. We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Yes,
I'm not-
sir, Ray.
All right, Ray.
And that's and that's key right there. Everybody is not built for the ride that you are on.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna tell you this. I have this saying, journey drama, out of Matthew, when Jesus told the disciples, let us go over to the other side. And then it says he told the disciples, tell the little other ships to stay here. But as soon as they got in the ship, all the other little ships want to follow. Everybody ain't built for the same ride that you on. And when you make it over to the other side, you ain't trying to bring the same drama that you had over on this side over to the other side, and your destiny to disturb your path and what you are on. Because everybody ain't built for the ride that God in the path that he got you on. So the minute you start taking people with you, the same mess you had on this side is the same mess you're gonna have on the other side if you take the wrong people with you.
The
Man,
wrong
it's
people.
like a
I
life.
don't
Definitely need to pull up each other.
What'd you say, Chester? Go. I can't hear you, man.
No, I was saying the wrong people is the key to that. But I personally like bringing people with me. I personally seeing
I
people,
want to bring you with
and not just with me, but even beyond, because they may have a different vision. Go, because this is a collective. This is a collective. When we get individualistic in our mindset and I'm just focused on me, that's when that's part for my people.
Well, you got your name. You got your name earnestly and honestly, Chester. Power to the people, brother. Because it's what you do. You're gonna empower everybody, and I get it. I bro, look, if you can uplift somebody, you're gonna take them to the. But some people just ain't built for your ride, bro.
That's what I agree. I agree with that 1,000%.
I'm telling you now. You can take whoever you can try to save the world if you want, bro. But some people ain't built for the journey.
Amen.
And all they're gonna do is bring hell, cause hell, and then you're gonna find yourself back in that place where you was once before, either in trouble, out of trouble, or just getting in trouble. We in one of three situations, and mostly it involves the people that we bring with us.
Man, it's like being a lifeguard. What's the first rule they teach you in being a lifeguard? If they
learn how to swim,
let them go.
The drowning man syndrome.
If you want to come, I got you. But if you fight, I have to let you go.
Yeah,
I got to, because people understand something, and I'm gonna get in trouble for this. But statistically speaking, 97% of the world are not free thinkers. 3%. And when you're when you find yourself as being part of that and as being humans, a lot of times we go, nah, I'm the same. I'm no different than it. But when you find yourself having conversations and people go, oh yeah, you know, he talking all that, yeah. You can only have certain conversations with certain people. And an example that I give is Michael Jackson and Prince.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all realize they were never friends. They were never friends. Prince had this thing with Michael, so they were never friends. However, when Michael Jackson died, Prince cried. Now let's think about this. You got a dude, Prince, that's got 100,000 songs dancing around in his head. How many people can he really just sit down and have a conversation with? He ain't talking about hoes and cars and bling bling. And then you got Michael Jackson who can say, hey, I got this 50 city tour and I need 50 dancers and I know every step I want them to make. I know every break that I want the band to make. I know all this is dancing around right here. So how many people can you just sit and have a conversation with?
Mm-hmm.
But if they sat down and had a conversation, can you imagine the Michael Jackson and Prince world tour? You got to recognize.
Well, Mike,
conversations with
Mike, think about what you just said.
Yeah.
Think about what I said earlier.
Yeah.
If you bring everybody to the table to talk about the world tour, you could do and make a better cigar community by doing it all together.
Right.
I mean, we can individualize this thing as long as we can hold on to it. But at some point, man, when all the candles stop burning, somehow y'all better figure out how to come together.
And I think it'll happen.
Get one candle burning as long as you can, instead of many candles burning, and they start extinguishing one by one.
Well, I think it's gonna be a little bit of time before it happens, because I think for a lot. What's up, sis?
Hey, Christine.
Hey, Christine.
I think.
Well, Christine Poplar up in here. Christine, you trying to do a show with the Smoking Jacket broadcast? I've been trying to book you for the longest, but you won't answer the phone, girl.
Come on, sis. But I think that it's still taking a little time, and the right people are waiting for all the cream to rise to the top.
Man, like the cream gonna get sour, bro. The cream is getting sour. Trust me on that.
I don't think so.
Wait. What'd you say, Chester?
No, it's not getting sour. Your focus is on the bad. I try my best. We tend to focus on bad stuff all the time.
No,
let that be the main part of the conversation. You have to remove that stuff and focus on
the negativity.
Yeah, the negativity. Whatever energy you know what come inside you, that's what you're going to give out. So
I agree
with Chester. Negativity breeds negativity. You know.
No, you know what? And what I love about this show, we can agree to disagree and still be friends. But I'm gonna tell you now, if we don't get it together, because you know what? Let me tell you something. In my experience, there's gonna always be that negativity, which will kill the whole vibe of everything. This ain't negativity. This is sound advice right now. Because of the negativity of other people and what they bring to the culture, you better change the narrative before they kill it. Is what I'm saying. And there are people that will kill it that you can't do nothing about because you think it's negativity. No, this ain't bringing negativity. This is educating what needs to happen for the future. Get that, put it in your pipe and smoke it.
So on that
I like that shit and kept it moving. All right.
So as the collective, as the collective, because
you know what?
I like
here go one. Christine said, "Let's make it happen."
Yes.
And you need to make it happen. One narrative instead of 16. You know what civil means? 16. You got 16 candles on one cake, and all of them gonna blow out individually, and ain't nothing gonna happen. Because y'all gonna be like Sybil. 16 different personalities, and y'all ain't got shit going.
Sharon,
So
what were you
I can
saying?
tell you, I can tell you this.
I
Fight
thought
that glass, boy.
keeping that
firmly agree.
energy. So I want to know holistically from the group, from the Black collective perspective, because I'm big on you personally should have what you consider to be your Black think tank. Um, just from who motivates you, who inspires you, um, who you learn from, um, et cetera, et cetera. So, what would be a way to harness that without it going back to what we spoke about earlier, which is the snobbery and the elitism and the cliquishness that comes along with people who just cannot understand how to get the hell out of their own way and think about, to Chester's point, the greater good
Right.
of what this is about, right? And so being intentional about Jay's knowledge, Mike's knowledge, et cetera, harnessing that in and doing like what we do in my industry, insurance risk management. You have a business continuity plan and you put it together, you have standard operating procedures, and there you go. So that's how I think about the conversation that we're having on that topic. So I just want to know what everybody's thought is about, it's like harnessing energy, right? So we can be the change we seek right here if we start having that conversation.
Listen, I'm gonna use social media as an example. If you look at a lot of our people's pages, it's a lot of negativity. We talk about who we ain't fucking with, what we ain't gonna deal with, who
Right.
need to do what. These are the type of people. If you notice on my page, it is a total opposite because that's enough energy of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's enough of that. So my page is about, I'm
Laughter.
intentionally. It's about laughing. It may be some information on food and all of that stuff, good stuff, because the only way you can change those people is by creating a lane and elevating. Then they see that and they go, oh, maybe I need to do that. You have to be an example of the energy that you want.
Right.
You have to be an example of the energy
Well
of the
said.
that
Yes,
you
well
want.
said.
And when you are feeding into that, you become exactly what you don't want. And
Well, some people in this industry got the heart of Pharaoh. Their heart is hardened, and they ain't gonna do nothing.
That's in every industry. That's in boxing.
You're right. It is in every industry, but you got to still educate people beyond. You got to educate people beyond what you think you can change. You ain't gonna always change. So be prepared for the ones you ain't gonna change. Because here we go. Everything ain't negativity.
Yeah.
Some things are educational, and if you don't learn from the people that burned you in the past, you ain't gonna never get to where you going.
You know what heat creates? More heat.
You know what? From a fireman. Go to hell.
He creates more heat. If it doesn't create ice, and you don't see heat hanging out with ice.
Ain't nobody messing with you, Chester.
So in between you two,
I'm not.
Ain't nobody messing with you. You retired. Why are you talking about fires? You retired from the fire department. Nobody want to hear about no old fire stories.
Before though, we've had that conversation before about
energy. Yeah.
I said, hey, change your energy because you're feeding yourself that same negativity that you don't want. And I get it. It's there. I'm not denying it's there. It's not there. I'm not saying it's not there, but what I refuse to do is focus on that. If you ever look at Google Maps or Google Earth and you zoom all the way out, we are in a small ass dot with so much to see, but you're focusing on those little things that mean nothing. That's not going to elevate you. I don't focus on those things. When I say, hey, I'm going to Tampa, using that example, if 15 people say they're going to go, you know what the end number is going to be. It's going to be about 4. But you know, I don't worry about the other 9. The other 11. I don't worry about them. They're gone. And when I post my pictures and say I had a great time, guess what they say?
What?
I want to go next time. Let me know. Guess what I don't do? Tell them when I'm going again, because I already know the negative energy that's coming. I don't want that. I go with the positive energy. So the next time I go, boom, we're gonna continue that energy. That same time, you bring those people with you, yes, but I don't focus on. Come on, Pastor.
You know, my post today was you cannot expect to solve a problem with the mindset that created it.
Bam! Shout the pearl, goddammit.
Yes.
So
hey, Cigar Mike, you know what? We're already over time. I don't give a flip. but no, some people on here might give a flip, but we're gonna let y'all go. But Cigar Mike, wrap it up with your perspective on this, man. Give us your most infinite wisdom on matter of fact, you know what? Just prepare to make the following statement, close us out. So Venita, who's supposed to be the host of the show today, and we just all took over. So she can give her come around assessment of everybody, and so we can close this thing out. Hey, I appreciate everybody that's been hanging on with us today. Hope you had fun. I certainly had fun. And here's an empty bottle. But anyway, Cigar Mike, come on, man.
Well, my perspective is this, I think that.
Hold on 1 second, Cigar Mike. Chester, go to hell.
Hey, man.
Boy, yo, I'm gonna tell you.
Chester got
all day, every day. Go ahead on, Chester.
All day, every day, baby.
What? My perspective is this. Just like I said, it's not me. A lot of people a lot smarter than me scientifically said cream will always rise to the top.
Yes, sir.
It ain't just me. I'm regurgitating their information, right? And doing what you're doing and doing it the right way. All information is predicated on the ability of others to receive it. You got 30 people in a classroom. You got one teacher giving the same information, but everybody gets different grades. Everybody don't get an A. Everybody don't get an F.
Right.
Are they able to receive it? I'm only interested in dealing with people who are ready to receive this information. I'm not a teacher. I don't have a class. But if you want to go on this ride, come on, let's go. Right. You said it.
Yeah.
You said this is what you want to do.
Yeah.
Okay, let's ride. And this is how we do things accordingly. And if enough people say, this is how we do things accordingly, and enough people understand that, okay, if you're doing it right, this is how it's supposed to be done, then they'll be able to identify for themselves the ones who, and they'll be able to make an educated decision. But you can't force that education on them.
Right.
They got to bring it. When they go to Destination Earth, what do you see? What do you receive? How are you treated? When you come to Atlanta, what do you see? How are you treated? When you go to Houston, how are you treated? So when you go anywhere else, you go, oh, okay, well, this ain't the same.
Right.
Didn't like this. Didn't appreciate that. And then they make their own decisions. And like what Chester was saying, I did it for years. I've been going to all these events and people, yeah, man, I'm gonna go. Get down there, 3 people there. As soon as I get back, I'm like, how was it? Motherfucker, you should have went. You got Facebook, you got Instagram, you see what happened.
Right.
But what happened next year is a little bit more.
Man.
And then the next year is a little bit more, and then a little bit more.
Right.
My mama used to tell me this. Most of the time it was right before she whooped my ass. But her quote was, I can show you better than I can tell you.
Yes, sir.
I can show you better than I can tell you.
I had a
great time. Motherfucker, you missed it.
Amen.
So
that's a fact, bro.
Cigar Mike gonna be over here. Don't ask me what's happening. Is it gonna be good? Is it gonna be fun? Because I ain't going nowhere. It ain't gonna be good, that ain't gonna be fun. And if it ain't fun, I'll personally make it fun.
Right.
We gonna have fun. So it's
Well, look
we
here.
individually curators of this movement. How each individual on this panel moves, people see that they go, man, I want to do what Chester doing, man. Chester go down to Ybor City every year, man. I need to go. It might be somebody you never met in your life that sees your Facebook post, and you'll run into them in Tampa and say, man, I used to see your post, so I came down here. You never know the full breadth of your impact. So you should never take away from it.
Amen.
There you go, man.
Never take away from it.
Well, look here.
All right, Chester, you have any closing statements for?
Well, let me do this real quick, Venita, and just before you get ready to close, and let them know who the show is sponsored by. And Chester, you know what? Sitting in the garage with your car headlights on, battery running dead because we can't see you, Negro. Hold on a second. We're gonna let you know who this show is sponsored by today. And so here it is right here.
The saga continues.
Right, this show is sponsored by Destination Herb, and you know what, Venita, you can go ahead and close it out in your own fashion, but I would give the floor to J Ferg first, since we just ran the commercial on Destination Herb. Go around the room and make the hostess with the mostest, the last person to have the words, and then I'll close this out. All right? No, you'll close this out, okay? All right.
Go ahead, Jay.
All right, so that's the commercial Destination Herb coming up in less than 60 days. This Friday, December 1st is the last day to take advantage of our Black Friday sale. We have a great Black Friday special going on right now. If you plan on coming to Destination Herb, please take advantage of the Black Friday sale. Do not call me on December 2nd saying, damn, I missed the sale, dog, because it ain't going to be there no more. You dig what I'm saying? I'm like CIGAR Mike. As soon as the event's over, the next week I'm already planning the second one. I drop dates, I drop information, so everybody should know what's going on. And like y'all said earlier, look, I don't give a fuck if it's 2 people, 3 people, or 1 person there, goddammit. We gonna have a good time with whoever the fuck is there. So
yes, we are.
I don't want to hear that shit. Oh man, I was supposed to come out trying to come. If you're there, we gonna have a good time. If you're not, we gonna still have a good goddamn time. You feel me? But I applaud you. If you want to have a great time, come to Miami in January. You ain't gonna, it's gonna be cold as fuck everywhere else. And why not come and chill with us on the goddamn beach and smoke some great cigars and drink some good liquor?
Damn, man.
We got open bar all weekend, great food, music, crazy swag. You know what I mean? So come check us out, man. DestinationHerb.com. Tickets are on sale. Take advantage of the Black Friday sale. Come rock with us, and we're gonna have a great goddamn time. You feel me?
All right.
I'm joining on everybody today, sounding like a broke ass Fred Sanford begging. No, go ahead, Venita. I'm sorry, my bad.
Comments.
I'm sorry.
Esther, we have any closing comments? You have any closing comments?
I, Mike, I appreciate you, brother. It's good to hear you speak. Good to have this time with you, man, and hoping to see you down in Tampa.
Yes, sir.
Cheryl.
Thank you all for having me on again. It's great to sit in with my Black collective. I love y'all on everything. I will see you. There's a lot going on. Tampa, Cigar Heritage Festival, Cigar Porn 6th anniversary, GTG blowout weekend. Corey Chaney got Cutting Lights, Carolina Blue, and Drunk Chicken. You have no excuse to not find something to do. I will see you in the city.
All right. Well, I'll take the next lead, and then you can give it to Mike, and Venita, you can give us our closing words. Well, look here. Once again, thank everybody for epic time, epic show. This is probably the most show I had the most fun on. We ran over. But you know what? Sometimes you got CIGAR Mike. And then the audience engaged us and helped us and wanted questions, and and we got to oblige. And so, while I like to keep the show to an hour to keep the audience up, but since you were already most entertained and you got to see Cigar Mike in the perspective that you don't normally see him in, his serious side, and brought some very key nuggets about the industry and to the industry to help us move things along. So Cigar Mike, man, I appreciate everything that you brought to the platform. Jay Ferg, same as with you, man. Both of y'all are pillars in this industry and in this game of well, you know what? I don't even like to call it a game because it's really something else. But in this culture of advancing us forward and not setting us back. And while I have to say this, while we get into a mode of what seemed like or maybe heated discussions with the panel, no, you know what? We're gonna agree to disagree. Me and Chester, we joke. He can take it, I can take it. We grown men. And so, it is what it is. We ain't showing no animosity towards each other. We're going to continue to uplift each other, but he's still a nerd. Daggone nerd. Since I know he ain't got no last words to say because Venita going to have the last word. Venita, I'm going to turn it over to you.
What you do then?
Listen, we're over, and 2 hours and 5 minutes has been a pleasure.
Woo-hoo!
And a great aura and a great vibe with each other today, and that determines the time that we spent with each other today.
Yeah.
Mike, thank you so much for joining us today and giving us the information and the knowledge that you have in this culture and in the cigar industry. It's always a pleasure to see you. Always a pleasure to see you, and much continued success to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, Mike, man, we got to give it to you to have the last word. Close us out, as your last words will end the show for us today.
Well, amazing times are created by being around amazing people, and I had an amazing time tonight. I enjoyed the discussion, the jokes, the information. I got to learn some things myself. If you're not around people you can learn something from, you need to move. You need to get around some people you can pick up something from. I enjoyed the podcast. I'll definitely be back if and whenever asked.
Absolutely, man.
And happy holidays to everybody, whatever you celebrate in particular, and Happy New Year. We look forward to another great year, and that's for everybody in everybody's life. Shout out, what up, Tyrone?
God willing. God willing.
Yeah, Lord willing, don't rise.
Yeah, man. Well, look here, Venita, it's your show to close.
Look, Venita.
Yes.
Can I say one thing real quick?
Yes.
So this is my quote, and I have it for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Never let someone else's perception augment your reality. Whatever you know that you have to do in life, just do it. Don't listen to it. I think everybody on here, if they listen to somebody else, none of us will be here.
Of course.
Never let somebody's perception augment your reality.
Well said. Well said.
That's all true.
Well said. Happy holidays to everyone. Peace and blessings.
All right. Well, that's our show. And look, Christine Russell, if you're still on, reach out to me, girl. Hopefully we can connect. Yeah, we got to connect.
She dropped her number in the chat.
She did.
She dropped her number in the chat.
She dropped her number.
Oh, did I miss it? Did I miss it? I missed it. Okay, I'll go back and check it out and get it before. Yeah. So because I may have the wrong number, but certainly, there's some people that are pillars in this venue, and we want to talk to them, talk about their brand, because man, what she brings to the game is totally different. I had the pleasure of sitting on her mobile cigar lounge, didn't mind paying what I needed to pay because at the end of the day, I don't like loud music. I was able to sit up there, chill, enjoy my time, support her while she was there, and I loved every minute of it. So one of the pillars in this particular industry, and one of the first, I believe, in the game. We're gonna talk to her about her venue and what she brings to it, and some encouragement that she may can give to others. And we're gonna get this show set up sooner than later. All right. Look, that's our time. That's our show. We appreciate every one of you. And I appreciate all those who endured our time and our overage. More power to the people, Chester.
Damn.